Let's begin! First up, let's take a look at the gameplay. In this game you play as an agent for an insurance agency. Your aim is to save people from the brink of death. To aid you with these close calls, you have the power of the hyperglove technology, which gives the ability of slow motion. You don't actually control the speed of time though, and every scenario is automatically in slow motion. After a few tutorial levels, you arrive at the agency's offices, which serves as the game's level select screen. To enter a level you must grab a file and press the play button. Each stage is very different from one another, and learning how to save each person really is so much fun. Before time begins to move slowly, you are able to have a look around the environment to see what could potentially help aid you with your task, but you never truly quite know what is going to happen before you press the play button. To move around the world you teleport, and there is only snap turning, but you can adjust how many degrees you turn. To save people you will need to interact with objects in each location. This is mainly done by grabbing items, throwing items, pressing switches, and also by killing enemies. If the person you're meant to save in the level dies, it's game over, and you have to start from the beginning of that stage again. Some enemies have guns and can shoot at you. You must dodge the bullets, because if one hits you, it's also game over. You can actually grab bullets in midair and let them go off in different directions. This action simply feels cool to perform in VR, and is one that you will need to do in order to save some of the people. The stages really do play out like small puzzles. In one you'll be inflating trampolines for people to land on as they jump out of a burning building, and in another you will be saving the comically named Indiana Jane from soldiers. The variety in each location is incredible, and the game never gets repetitive. Finding the correct objects to use in each stage is quite easy. The puzzles really are quite simple. The only real challenge comes from dodging and grabbing bullets that are heading towards the person you're trying to save. Some levels have an incredibly large number of enemies that fire guns. Grabbing all of the bullets is quite a hard task and a brief workout session. Some of the stages are blocked off at the start of the game, and you must complete the stages in one area of the office first. Once you have done so, your computer guide reveals a password to unlock the next area's door. There are also bonus stages in the credits room. These bonus levels are very easy, as they are mainly levels that were used for testing before making the actual game. It's actually quite a nice little addition, as it gives a little bit of insight of how the game's development progressed. Now let's take a look at how immersive this game is. The game is of a blocky style, but this type of presentation actually helps with the depth of each location a lot. Simple textures and models always help with the depth of faraway objects in PSVR games due to the screen's resolution, and although the world may not be realistic, the depth goes a long way to ground you in the world. When you kill an enemy, blocky blood explodes in a spectacular fashion. It truly does look amazing. If you are not happy with the blood, you can turn it off in the options. A similar effect is seen when stuff blows up. Once again, the explosions are blocky, and it just looks incredible in slow motion. Throwing objects can feel a little bit awkward, as their weight doesn't feel exactly right when you let go of them due to the slow motion effect. Objects' weight should obviously change with the slow motion effect going on, but it just doesn't feel spot on. There isn't too many sound effects to be heard, but the standout ones are definitely the splatter effects heard when an enemy dies. It is quite gross. The music, however, really is the star of what's to be heard. It's incredibly well done, is of a comical fashion, and fits each stage perfectly. Now let's take a look at the setup and what controllers the game supports. I played this game in a standing position just over 2 meters away from the camera. The head tracking was fine, and the game did not make me motion sick. You could play seated, but it is best to stand, as it allows for greater arm movement and dodging bullets is easier. This game requires 2 move controllers to play. The other controllers are not supported. Now let's take a look at the length of the game and what trophies come with it. It took me about 2 hours to beat the main stages and bonus stages. Although the game doesn't really have too much replayability, the trophies do give a reason to jump back into the scenarios, and there is a platinum up for grabs. In total there are 42 trophies that can be achieved. There's 29 bronze, 8 silver, 4 gold and 1 platinum. A lot of the trophies are awarded for simply saving each person, but there is a lot that are awarded for doing certain actions in each stage or for completing the stage in a certain way, such as chopping up every enemy in a level and by winning a level without destroying a helicopter. The variety in the trophies really is great. They encourage playing the stages in different ways, which is exactly what I think many players would want from this type of game. This platinum really shouldn't be too hard to get. And now it's time for the verdict. This game feels a bit like a compilation of bite-sized stages from a game like Job Simulator or I Expect You to Die, due to the different objects you can interact with. The puzzles here are a lot easier and much more basic than I Expect You to Die though, so don't expect a lot of challenge here. However, the simplistic design ensures that the game keeps moving at an excellent pace most of the time, apart from a couple of stages that require lightning fast reflexes. I really did have a lot of fun with this game, and it was mainly due to the levels variety. You never know what scenario you'll be in next, and when you solve a puzzle and save the person, you really do feel like a hero, even with the blocky graphics. There is so many other puzzles they could do with this idea. I really would love to see a sequel in the future. There is a full live stream of my playthrough on the channel if you want to see how much I enjoyed the game. Part 1 is on screen right now. As always, if you enjoyed this review, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more PlayStation VR content.